This is the Wordlife show on Ujima Radio. Hey, alright, so this is the part of the show that we have been waiting for.
Jesus, I have.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my muff. Sorting out my microphone muff.
Muff.
Yeah. That's why I've just been informed that the apparatus on the end of the microphone, the fluffy bit, is actually called a muff. So
it's an official title.
We move. Yeah, all right.
We're learning something every day. Right, okay, so if you've just tuned in or you're watching this online, I am joined now by JAY0117.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nah, big up, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's been long overdue. Yeah, man. I mean, we were speaking a bit ago. That's just some crazy noises. Sorry, I can hear it through the heavens, man. Right, so it's pre-lockdown. Last time you come on, we're talking like 3-4 years, maybe, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, I've been saying throughout the show, it's like I lose track of time, innit? Like when lockdown started and where we've been and this and that. But yeah, last time I came on, that was definitely a long time ago. It feels like about 2-3 years. So
I mean, a lot's changed in that time. Now, you are now a parent.
I am indeed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Congratulations on that. You know?
Thank you. I bet, like, it seems like mad to congratulate me on something that happened 3 years ago.
I know, but it's been that long.
My daughter was 3 the other day. Beautiful, blessing. Yeah, man, loving it.
Yeah,
loving it.
I mean, yeah, it's not something like, as you say, it's 3 years on, so you've had to go through all of the nights and stuff like that. And now I'm guessing at 3 years old, you probably talk a bit or communicate a lot more.
Yeah. But it's like I always say to new parents, like I say, in 3 years deep, you're not that a new parent. But it's like every time you get used to a routine, the routine's done. Like you get used to a routine, the routine changes. You know what I mean? So you just gotta take it as it comes, man.
Be like water.
Flowing, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm blessed to be a dad.
Yeah, but you know, I say that because I noticed there's been a lot of changes in your music and your life attitude and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, you know what? Like once upon a time, when I first started music, obviously I was sort of living a certain life, and sort of there was no boundaries to what I could say in it. Like it was a different time. Like even so, like where things are politically correct.
Yeah.
Like it was a different time even then. Even like 5 years ago when I started. It was a different thing of what you could say. Yes. Certain things of what I was saying then, I couldn't even say now. Being a responsible adult. I couldn't say them. Like I used to go out on like a lot of my following was built on like going out on Stokes Croft and
terrorizing people with the madness and that.
You know what I mean? Like filming
Stokes Croft.
Filming Stokes Croft. And stuff like that. Like, and essentially, you know, exploiting misery in a way like where it wasn't necessarily the best, but it was reality.
It was like some funny stuff
and it was joke and this and that, and like it contributed to the bars that I was making and spraying at the time, and all the bars that I was making, like I was active. Like I had 24 hours a day to put into music and whatever else, like and
debauchery.
You know what I mean? Like and that's what it is. So
I was in the studio a lot of the times, bro. Like let's be real. Like,
you know what I mean? And there was and it was a fun time. It was a fun time. That start of like essentially like the 0117 movement, and then into like evolving into like the cheese and bread movement and stuff like that. Like it was a fun time, like because everybody had the same energy. Everybody had the same energy to go get it, like and be involved in it because it was new. Like that energy over a year or however long, like people just dropped off, like understandable, like people have lives and
start getting like,
you know, it wasn't
full-time
like
relationship, full-time job, you know what I mean?
You know, and these things happen, so
or full-time problems that they've got, you know, like,
you know, and that's okay, but it became like eventually like people dropped off and this and that, and then it became a bit more of like, I guess a bit more of a cheese and bread thing in terms of the more of the Audible 17 thing. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of people involved in that Audible 17 movement.
Yeah, so that was like the Audible 17 was like the grime ciphers and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you know what?
Right, just so people know as well, because kids might not even get this nowadays. 0117 is actually a telephone code for Bristol.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, because kids don't never type that on phones no more, do they? I suppose.
No, you're right. No one don't see it. I've like I say, and I'll touch on it later. But even the youth work that I'm doing, when I try and explain Audible 7, it's like, what's that? Like, that's not a postcode. No. Yeah, you're right. It's essentially O117. When you had the yellow pages, Bristol numbers was O117.
That's the code. You type the prefix code.
Yeah. Okay. So
why are you not JAY0117 then?
Because when I started spitting, it started becoming O173.
Yeah.
Because the 9s had run out.
They don't know the prefixes. Yeah.
So you know what? And I even sometimes I think like by naming myself JAY0117. When I first named myself, it wasn't no like, oh well, this is gonna be a long thing. I never had no intentions to start spitting or to start like at that first O117 cipher that if you go YouTube it you can see it, it's at Drapes' Yard. I'm at the back of the cipher. I never planned to spit, like I never came there to spit, like but people
was
knew
that the first video you spat on then?
That was the first time I'd ever spat on camera.
Oh right.
At that O117 cipher. And it's like, you know when you have bars, like everyone have bars. I know people to this day now, like close friends that don't spit. Like got some bars.
Some really good bars.
I'm looking to my left. But people, I know like people got bars in it. So that's the thing of like, I didn't really want to spit, but I sort of, you know, I just felt the vibe and this and that. And then it just sort of went from there. And I was obviously interested in spitting, like, because I had just made a studio and this and that, but my intention wasn't to go and start spitting and become an MC.
You were doing filming and different things like that and editing and different things before.
I worked with South Blessed, obviously, like, big up Vince always.
Big up Vince, man.
Like, and that was the thing, but I just filmed loads of freestyles with South Blessed and thought, like, no disrespect to anybody else, but like, I could probably do this. I could probably spit that bar. You know what I mean? Like, and then sort of just fell into it. And for long, like for I reckon the first year of me spitting, I was like, nah, I don't spit. Like I would almost like push it away of a thing of like, no, it's just a hobby. Like I don't spit. And then I started obviously getting bookings and putting time into it. Where
So how long before was it like the bookings that you were doing? Was the cipher then? Was it off of that?
The cipher was probably about 6 months before like the Chew clash.
Right. Okay. Before
So like before anything, like I probably did that cipher.
Didn't we book O117 cipher though before the Chew clash? I swear we had that, didn't we?
Yeah, but you may have, but not off the back of me, innit? Like
no, I think it was like all of you.
Like it would have been like, because that's what I'm saying. Like the O117 movement was quite a lot of people, innit? But it, like within the year or whatever, it sort of slowly faded out and this and that. Like,
and you say that evolved into Cheese and Bread as we know it.
I guess that evolved into Cheese and Bread. At the time of like the O117 thing, I had the Cheese and Bread brand. Like I might have even been wearing the Cheese and Bread t-shirt when I did that. But it's almost like I made Cheese and Bread as a brand. As a t-shirt brand, like, or a record label. I made a studio in a friend's house that I was living at the time, and I had stopped working with South Bless, like just on the thing of like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing, and I made that studio to say like, right, I'm gonna go and film people's music videos and record their music and offer them the whole package, and that was my thing. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just give this studio a go. I didn't like, and then I just started making tunes in that studio and. Like not even making tunes in the studio, like just playing around with it sort of thing. And then I got the studio on Stokes Croft like about, you know, a couple months after the O117 cipher, and then that was sort of the hub of
You've had that for ages then, isn't it?
Years. And it's come a long way. Like you know,
I mean,
it was small itself and it's grown, but
and now you've got the other room at the back and stuff like evolved. Like fully big up you, man.
Man.
Right now, one thing you touched on, which I think is incredibly important, was branding yourself early. Now I know you're doing work with youths at the moment, and you said a lot of what you're doing is working with them to get t-shirt brands and things like that done.
Yes.
So what do you think the importance of setting up a brand is?
So it's like, you know, I think the importance of setting up the brand is like, it's all well and good that you have the talent and it has to have the talent, but it's like that brand is what the people recognize and buy into. You know what I mean? Like, so and I think it's sort of like it can be national in a much easier way that you as an artist, as a single person from a certain city can be national. Like the brand can spread quicker. But like,
for example, everyone was wearing Boy Better Know t-shirts, not Skepta t-shirts, and things like that.
You know what I mean? Like even like now, like the Cortez thing, and they're doing a thing. Like it's just, it grows in it. Like, so I just think it's important to do the branding. You know, I feel the Cheese and Bread branding was quite a big part of the movement in a way. Like when we started the Cheese and Bread thing and we started selling t-shirts were being sold, like people were seeing it, I think it was a massive part of like the movement in a
How
way.
did Cheese and Bread start then? What was...
So, like I was saying, I made a studio in my friend's house that I was living at the time.
Right.
And the studio was made from... It's hard to say it without being a bit techie, like... Basically... Made bread from cheese, made the studio, here we are.
I see you. Yeah. Hey, I think some of our more informed radio listeners may be able to read between the lines there.
Yeah. Take that from
no.
However you take that.
It's the reality, and that's how a lot of things are started off.
And that's the thing. But actually, those that know me, cheese and bread is a lifestyle. Man, only eat margarita pizzas. I have cheese on toast on a weekly basis. Cheese and bread's a lifestyle. It's a very strong camp. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, cheese and bread consists of like myself, Stuller, Stutz, Dimps. Like, and then there's a surrounding thing, Demps, Blazy, Mus, like it's the man them, like that's it's a family thing. You know what I mean? Like, where if we release or like say for example Dimpson releases on Cheese and Bread Records, but that's completely his release. Like we all own Cheese and Bread and we've all helped to build it, and that's where we're at.
So like a collective
exactly label. That it's just a label what people can we can all claim as our own, and you can not get sucked by whoever else is releasing your music.
Hey, I just want to check on that and ask. Right, so another important thing, because time is flying away, the youth development thing you're doing. I think this is incredible. You're doing that with Bernardo's, I believe, yeah?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Great charity. Do you want to tell us what it's about?
Yeah, so over the last year or so, when COVID hit, like obviously all the bookings stopped and my whole music thing, so I got into this like I was very lucky like that I had friends that worked in that industry, in the youth work sector, and they needed somebody like myself to sort of help young people and mentor young people in terms of building their music and help building their brands. So we run something out of Bernardo's in Bristol that helps young people, a lot of sort of highly vulnerable young people in Bristol, inner city Bristol, to create their music, create their brands. We help them make brands and make them t-shirts, so now they go out and they now sell t-shirts instead of whatever other things that they were once selling. And
hey, if you can sell that stuff, you can sell t-shirts.
Well, and we help them build their music, like we played earlier, the Road Diamond single. Their music then goes onto Spotify, iTunes. We don't just sort of create something to sell them a dream, like it's going, where it could be like, oh, we'll record no, it's very realistic results. Like I'm saying, Road Diamond went to Shambhala Festival, we gave him a realistic result of that, and it's a wicked thing to do because there's so much talent and young talent in Bristol, but there's not necessarily enough agencies that are sort of using this as a tool of engagement. You could find out a lot about a young person by sitting them down and pressing the record button and hearing what their truth is and what they're trying to say, than to say, you've never met me in your life, but sit down and tell me about you. You know what I mean? We know we've all been, we've been young people. That's not ever going to work.
If someone comes up to you like that, you'd be like, whatever.
It's not going to work. But if they give you an opportunity,
so Kevin and Perry response, isn't it? You're almost dead.
And so we give them sort of things that they want to be involved in, and if they sort of happen to engage, then they engage, and they do engage, and man,
bro,
it's good.
It's good. I think it's incredible. Right, just because time is of the essence, now release wise, you've just dropped 2 p.m. in Greenbank.
Big
up the Greenbank Cemetery gang.
Big up Greenbank, man. I released that at the end of last year. I think I set out last year to try and release a single a month. And in a way, I think I shot myself in the foot a bit. I think that's way too much. It's too much to try and unload on people. It might work for some people, didn't work for me. And I went through a lot of things like family-wise in that year. So I think 2 p.m. in Greenbank was the best way for me to just sum up the year
and break it down.
And then come back.
I think there's an incredibly important message on that. Do you know what I mean? I listened to the start of it. And I think something that's Rhythm Bristol, and we know all about, you know what I mean, it's hit hard and it's affecting you and your mates really hard. So go watch that track, check out the video. Right, bro, so you got a February release coming out.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
it's called Primetime. I don't know why it's called Primetime. Yeah, when I first made it, and like I split one bar in there that's like Primetime. Da 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 da. And I was like, right, okay, that's it. And I just did it as the bounce. Yeah, and now like a month or so down the line, it's still called that. I can't think of a better name. So yeah, Primetime. Videos filmed, produced by myself and Jabru, who is also AKA Praxis Audio. That sort of, he does a lot of sound engineering, studio making, this and that, but his production name's Jabru, and we made the beat, and he's done the wicked mix and master, and it's a long time coming, and the video's filmed. Big up CMHD as well. He filmed the video. So yeah, man, we're ready. We're gonna take this year by storm.
All right. Well, we don't have much time left, so we're gonna have all your social media stuff pop up. I know what it is anyway, so big up Venomous Visuals. Right, if you're watching this online, there's a button down there that says subscribe. Press that button now. We need as many subscribers as possible.
Subscribe.
Do the damn thing. But right, we're gonna go into some commercial breaks, some adverts. We'll be back on the other side, and it's the live performance part of the show that we'd be looking forward to.
Love that.
All right, so we're gonna flip over and catch you in a bit.
They call it Great Britain, but Britain ain't great. They call it Great Britain, but Britain ain't great. They call it Great Britain, but Britain ain't great. They call it Great Britain, but Britain ain't great. They call it Great Britain, but Britain ain't great. It's just a bunch of toys giving backhanders to their mates. But man, they're living in a state. It's so off up a stage, station off top. I sweat down, I want to escape. The NHS is a mess. I mean, there's people that save lives, like nurses and doctors who can't even get a pay rise. But bankers are getting bonuses every year, even in recession. They wonder why.